What if I told you this entire end board is made possible off of one single card, and it will be legal for the WCQ season? Guys, this is absolutely crazy. We're getting APOLLOUSA, Pit Night, IP Masquerade, and yes, D-Barrier is actually now searchable. I don't know how the heck this is possible, but guys, check this out. I have to show you what the heck is going to be possible in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, to preface this a little bit, we have to talk about Infinite Forbidden. This is a pack that's going to be legal on the Friday of WCQ for North American regions, which means it's going to be legal. Yes, don't even question that. It will be legal, guys. And this set is absolutely crazy. There's so many meta warping, game-changing cards that are going to be legal in this set, but more importantly, I want to talk to you guys about an engine that's currently tearing apart the entire OCG. And yes, this is none other than the FIENDSMITH engine. These guys are absolutely crazy. They mesh into basically every deck, and now you're able to put on rank 6s without using your normal summon, in addition to a plethora of swarming capabilities. Yeah, guys, I realize this is a little bit early, but I have to tell you, this is absolutely nuts. You have to know about the FIENDSMITH stuff. So let's backpedal a little bit and talk about them. Who the heck are these guys? Well, this is actually an archetype based on a singular character called the FIENDSMITH, and the lore goes something like this. The FIENDSMITH is a, well, as his name would imply, a smither of weapons who resides in the underworld, and he himself is actually a fiend. He's actually taken on the task to hunt down unsuspecting fiends in the underworld, and in order to do this, he's actually crafted a talking coffin called Requiem. Now, it's important to note that in the actual lore book, they noted that the FIENDSMITH actually doesn't go out of his way to hunt fiends, but he rather only does it when someone hires him specifically, or if there just happens to be a fiend that crosses his path. How it works is it's a very link/fusion reliant mechanic that allows you to take advantage of the FIENDSMITH to link off into a bunch of different things, and then those link monsters allow you to either fusion summon to spam the board even further and add or special summon fiends from your graveyard, specifically light fiends. So yeah, these guys are actually revolving around the light fiend mechanic, which is not too common. You guys might know there are some existing light fiends like Majesty's Fiend who can also be splashed into this archetype coincidentally. So once the FIENDSMITH actually traps unsuspecting fiends in his coffin, he actually forces them to sign a contract with him, and the contract states that he is able to take advantage of the fiend's powers and use them as ammunition, basically. There are some great callbacks in this archetype, including to the Despair from the Dark, an ancient card that you guys might remember in your ball collection as a kid. And yep, you can see here on one of the link monsters called FIENDSMITH Sequentia. So there are some really cool callbacks to this. And again, he does make usage of the fiends that it kicks into the coffin and uses them to eradicate other fiends.
Hey, where are you going? Yo, what's up? Just about to go to Locos. I got my new plant deck in the mail today, so I'm gonna test it out. Whoa, wait, you're going to Locos dressed like that? I mean, yeah, it's a regular t-shirt. I mean, I'm going to Locos. What do you expect me to wear? My guy, your drip is literally non-existent. How do you expect to go to Locos in that? I'm not gonna win wearing my gray t-shirt? Well, you're not gonna win dressed like that. I mean, if you're winning, you gotta do it in style. Like, I mean, look, check it out. I got a skull in a little glass of liquid. I think it's alcohol. I don't know, I've never really given much thought to my drip, but now that you mention it, I mean, well, yeah, I mean, and the fact that I'm playing a zombie deck, I mean, look at this. I'm literally playing skull monsters and I have a skull on my shirt. Have you seen anything more epic? Huh, that actually is kind of cool now that you mention that. Actually, you know what? Wait here for a second. I think I have just a thing for you. I mean, is it gonna let me win with my plant deck? All right, here, put this on. 5 minutes later. Check it out, how do I look? The shirt actually has a forest on the back, which is kind of cool because, you know, I'm playing plants and yeah. There you go. Now you can actually win in style and reduce your opponent's life points to 0 while looking somewhat fashionable.
Guys, before we dive in, I want to talk to you guys about the sponsor of today's video, and that's none other than INTOTHEAM. If you're looking for premium apparel and clothing that has awesome designs and is extremely comfortable, definitely check them out at intotheam.com. They actually have some really cool designs that I think are neat as well. You can kind of pick like a design that fits your personality and just wear it. They're having a sale right now, and if you guys use my link below or the discount code SQUIDDIES, you actually get an additional 10% off, so definitely go check that out. Other than that, let's get back to Squiddio. Now, enough about the lore. Let's dive in and take a look at the cards because these cards are absolutely bonkers. So the main character is none other than the FIENDSMITH himself. He's a level 6 light fiend that says you can discard this card from your hand, add one Fiendsmith spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Then he has another effect that says you can target one Fiendsmith equipped card you control and one monster on the field, send them to the graveyard. But it doesn't stop there. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle one other light fiend monster from your graveyard into the deck or the extra deck, special summon this card, and he happens to be a level 6 fiend, so you guys know where this is going. Yeah, I'm not too much of a fan of it, but apparently DDD Wave High King Caesar is going to be everywhere. Now, I'm only going to be showing you guys a high level and only the cards that I think are actually relevant, but we can talk about the cards in depth a little later when they actually come closer to the release date. And the Fiendsmith actually equips his coffin alongside his other toys back to him from the graveyard, so this is really, really neat mechanic that you can take advantage of. The next monster that we previously went over is the Talking Coffin Requiem. Fiendsmith Requiem requires one light fiend monster to make. He's a Link 1. Yeah, Link 1s, they really scare me. But this monster says you can only summon it once per turn, thank goodness. During the main phase quick effect, you can tribute this card, special summon one Fiendsmith monster from your hand or your deck. Then he has an effect in the graveyard where you can target a non-link light fiend monster you control, equip this card from your field or graveyard to that monster as an equipped spell that gives it 600 attack. So yeah, this guy's a Lone Fire Blossom that can tribute himself to special summon in Fiendsmith from your deck directly, and this is very, very, very chaotic. The next Link monster is Fiendsmith Sequentia, who's a Link 2 monster that requires 2 monsters, including a Light Fiend monster. And yep, you can see it's the coffin here making usage of Despair from the Dark, who it's actually trapped in its grasp. This monster says during the main phase, you can fusion summon one Fiend Fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling its materials from your graveyard into the deck. You can target one non-link light fiend monster you control, equip this card from your field or graveyard to that monster as an equipped spell with this effect. Your opponent cannot target the equipped monster with card effects, and of course it's a hard once per turn. So what's the usage of polymerization when we can literally fuse using a link climb mechanic? This is very, very busted. Speaking of fusion monsters, we actually have some nice ones so far. Fiendsmith Lacrimosa, which you can see is a form of Fiendsmith actually using the fiend powers in his coffin Requiem, requires 2 light fiend monsters. It's a level 6 fiend as well. Yeah, I know, I hate level 6 fiends, but it's a continuous effect that says monsters your opponent controls loses 600 attack. And then hard ones per turn, if this card is fusion summoned, you can target one light fiend monster in your graveyard or your banishment, add it to your hand or special summon it. Then if this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle one other light fiend monster from your graveyard into the deck or the extra deck, inflict 1200 damage to your opponent. So yeah, this card can literally revive the Fiendsmith and you can just overlay into any rank 6 Xyz monster, including High Wave King Caesar, because they're both fiends. No restrictions in place, and on top of that, he can burn your opponent for 1200 damage when you're in time. Absolutely crazy, because Sequentia can fuse by shuffling back materials from your graveyard, so you're basically getting a free Lacrimosa that resurrects the Fiendsmith. You can kind of see where this is going. Fiendsmith These Array is an upgraded version of the Fiendsmith. You can see he's like invoking all of the fiend powers. He requires the actual Fiendsmith himself alongside 2 light fiend monsters. He has a quick effect that says you can negate the effects of a number of face-up cards on the field equal to the total link ratings of the link monsters equipped to this card until the end of the turn. So that's pretty crazy. If you think about it, you equip Sequentia to him and you're all of a sudden negating stuff. If this card is in the graveyard, you can shuffle one other light fiend monster from your graveyard into the deck or the extra deck, then target a card on the field, send it to the graveyard. So yeah, 2 very powerful fusion monsters. And then the spell card that we really care about is Fiendsmith Tractus that says add 1 light fiend monster from your deck to your hand, then discard 1 card. You can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon 1 Fiendsmith fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, hard ones per turn. Now, note that this can add any light fiend monster in the game, so you can literally search for Majesty's Fiend now and tribute summon it if you haven't yet normal summon. Just really, really bonkers. And of course, if you think about the discard stipulation, then you'll probably turn your head towards the Fabled monsters. These are light fiend monsters that actually get their effects when they're discarded, and there happens to be one of them that is especially powerful. Fabled Luri, a level 1 that used to be absolute bulk, but this card can actually be discarded to the graveyard and special summoned as a fiend extender, and because he's the light fiend, he can instantly go into the Coffin Requiem, and you can kind of see where this is going. Now let's talk about why these guys are so broken. Well, for starters, they have a 1-card combo that allows you to make Wave High King Caesar without actually using your normal summon. Yeah, this is absolutely crazy. So with 1 card, the Fiendsmith alone, you can actually make any rank 6 without using your normal summon, including Wave High King Caesar or Beatrice. Yes, not using your normal summon to make a Beatrice. Guys, I don't know how this is possible, but Konami said, you know what? There's no restrictions. We're not locking you into light fiends. You can do this. So with just a Fiendsmith, all we have to do is literally discard them from our hand to add a copy of Fiendsmith Tractus. We activate Tractus to add and discard a copy of Fabled Lurie. Lurie comes back thanks to his special ability, so we have a free monster we can link off into the Requiem Coffin. Coffin can be sent and tributed off to special summon a copy of the Fiendsmith from our deck. Now what happens is we can use the in-graveyard effect of the other Fiendsmith, who can shuffle back and recycle one of our resources, our Light Fiend, Lurie, if we want to use it again later on, and then we can instantly overlay for something like Wave High King Caesar, and then proceed to normal summon and actually do our plays. This is busted. Alternatively, you can of course go into Beatrice if you're playing something like Tearlaments, or whatever the heck you're playing, because Beatrice is just busted and should probably be banned, honestly. Now the crazy part about this whole entire thing is you can actually do a little more with just the Fiendsmith. You can actually get extra body. Yes, it plays into Nibiru a little bit, but the possibilities are actually here. So what we're going to do is the same exact position here. We activate and add Tractus, activate Lurie, special summon, go into the Requiem, tribute itself to special summon a copy of the Fiendsmith, and now we're going to bring back the other Fiendsmith just like we did before. But instead of actually overlaying them directly, what we're actually going to do is kind of funny. From here, what we're actually going to do is link off the two Fiendsmith into Fiendsmith Sequentia, who lets us fusion summon from our graveyard. And then we're going to summon out Lacrimosa. Lacrimosa on summon effect trigger allows us to resurrect the Fiendsmith. So we're basically back to where we started. We have 2 level 6s, but in addition to that, what we're actually going to do is be able to take advantage of the fact that we have an extra body and go into an APOLLOUSA for 3 materials, again, without using our normal summon. Or we can just go back and just overlay these 2 for Beatrice or a High Wave King Caesar, and we have a free Fiendsmith link 2 on the board, so you can just use that to link climb. It's absolutely busted. But I mean, that's not the only thing they can do. In addition to Beatrice and Wave High King Caesar, you can actually spin up a pseudo OMNI-NEGATE off of the Fiendsmith without using your normal summon. Here's how that's done. So we're going to discard Fiendsmith, add a copy of Tractus, go into Lurie, and then we're going to link off into the Coffin. You guys know the drill. Tribute off the Coffin, summon out the Fiendsmith, bring back the other Fiendsmith by shuffling back the Lurie. Now we're going to link these 2 off into Sequentia, Sequentia's effect, fusion summon, and then we can actually bring out the level 9, Fiendsmith Desiree, and this card actually allows you to negate effects up to the link monster that's equipped to this card. So what we can now do is activate the effect of Tractus, because yes, that has the engrave effect to actually fusion summon. So we fusion summon again using the level 9 plus Sequentia to go into Lacrimosa. Lacrimosa can bring back the level 9, and now we can use the effect of Sequentia in the graveyard to equip it to Desiree. So what that means is we can have a quick effect that negates the effects of a number of face-up cards on the field as a quick effect equal to the total link ratings of the link monsters equipped to this card. So we can negate up to 2 face-up cards on our opponent's turn. And yes, this can be chained to normal spells, traps, monster effects, anything. It's basically a hot red dragon archfiend. Very, very crazy, and we have not yet used our normal summon again. You know, I think the craziest part is the fact that this engine doesn't actually have any realistic bricks, because opening Tractus plus any monster that you can normal summon is still full combo. Yes, we can literally just go for Lurie, and then we can just go for the Coffin effect, get out the Fiendsmith. Now we normal summon one of our hand traps or whatever, and we can actually link these 2 off to go into Fiendsmith Sequentia, and then just do the exact same thing. We just fusion summon for the Lacrimosa. Lacrimosa brings back Fiendsmith, and then we just get DDD Wave King Caesar, or you get an APOLLOUSA or whatever the heck you want. So yeah, even opening the spell is not even that bad. Okay, now let's talk about why this engine is so broken. Well, first of all, as you've seen, it's very, very splashable because there are no restrictions whatsoever. You're literally just putting in the engine into your deck, a couple of monsters into your extra deck, and boom, you're able to make a Beatrice or a Wave High King Caesar on your 5th summon, so you're not even playing the Nibiru. But that's not just it for splashability. They actually made a way to bridge into the entire Fiendsmith engine off any 2 cards. We are literally entering another era of Nightmare Mermaid / Verte Anaconda. Moon of the Closed Sky is a currently OCG exclusive Link 2 Light Fiend monster. This is actually a baby version of Underworld Goddess, which is kind of cute, but more importantly, it's a Light Fiend Link 2 that's generic, which means any 2 monsters can now link into this, and then you can use this to go into Requiem, and then you can use Requiem to special summon Fiendsmith. So any 2 effect monsters now bridges into the entire Fiendsmith engine. Holy smokes. Now, this card is actually a V-Jump promo, so it's a part of a magazine in the OCG, but I'm definitely expecting it to come out in the actual Brothers of Legend, where there are going to be a lot of imports. So, I mean, there's a high chance we get this card, which just makes the the FIENDSMITH engine absolutely crazy because you can splash it in basically every deck. And yes, that means especially Snake Eye, because you know Snake Eye likes to spam the board, and 2 monsters is a piece of cake for that deck. So guys, check this out. With one single Snake Eye Ash, we are getting a super combo now. It's nothing like you've ever seen, I swear. Okay, generic combo, you guys have seen this drill. We're gonna put Snake Eye, Diabellstar here, and then we're gonna go Oak. Yes, I am playing the Nibiru just to show you guys the combo. I'm sure you can optimize it after these cards actually come out, but you know, cut me a break. Okay, so now we're gonna go into Moon of the Close Sky with Ash and Poplar. Poplar's effect's going to trigger as well to place back the Snake Eyes Diabellstar in a second, and then we're gonna link up the Moon of the Close Sky into FIENDSMITH Requiem, which requires 1 Light Fiend. We're gonna tribute off Requiem to bring out the FIENDSMITH, and then we are actually going to use the effect of FIENDSMITH Requiem to equip itself to the FIENDSMITH. So this is a free send fodder for Oak now. It's just crazy how it just happened to work. Like, yeah, they probably thought this. Definitely did. Okay, now we're going to send off the Oak and the FIENDSMITH Requiem to bring out the Flamberge Dragon. We can use the effect of Snake Eyes Diabellstar to bring itself back, scale the Oak. Now we can link off the 2 monsters to go into the FIENDSMITH Sequentia, the one that fusion summons. I don't know why they put a fusion summon monster on a link mechanic, but yeah, whatever, go nuts. Sequentia is going to activate. We're going to shuffle back the Closed Sky and the FIENDSMITH Requiem to light monsters to make Lacrimosa, and we're actually going to bring back the FIENDSMITH to our hand, because Lacrimosa can either special summon it or add it back to your hand, which is just nutty. So now that it's in our hand, we can use the FIENDSMITH hand effect to add a copy of the FIENDSMITH Tractus, use that to summon out the Lurie from our deck. Now we can actually start to link climb and go ballistic. We can go Snake Eyes Flamberge and Lurie into IP Masquerena, trigger Flamberge. Yes, we have not yet done that yet. And then we can link off Poplar and Sequentia and Ash to go off into a fat APOLLOUSA with 3 negates. And we haven't used the FIENDSMITH in the graveyard yet. We're not locked into anything, so you use the FIENDSMITH effect in the graveyard to shuffle back the Lurie, so you have follow-up for next turn. You can do that same combo again. And then you can go into Wave, High King Caesar, or Beatrice, up to you. This is crazy. We're getting a free Wave Hiking Caesar in addition to APOLLOUSA and IP Masquerena with Oak in the scale. So when our opponent normal summons, we can just get infinite follow-up. And yeah, this combo is just nutty. So yeah, you guys are probably thinking, okay, that's fine and dandy. You know, if Snake Eye Ash resolves, I was probably winning anyways with my full combo. We didn't need the FIENDSMITH stuff. Well, wait till you see this. It's not just the Snake Eye engine that's a one-way street to FIENDSMITH. In fact, the FIENDSMITH stuff can actually search out Snake Eyes. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to use the effect of FIENDSMITH in our hand, and then we're going to search Tractus, discard Lurie. Lurie goes on the board. Same kind of generic combo here. We're going to go into the Requiem. Requiem tribute itself, summon out FIENDSMITH. FIENDSMITH will bring back the FIENDSMITH. Now we're going to shuffle back the Lurie and link off these 2 into Sequentia. Sequentia's effect allows us to fusion summon using the FIENDSMITH and Requiem. I just love how you're getting back the resources with this too. It's crazy. You're not even wasting any fodder. Bring out Lacrimosa. Lacrimosa will bring out the FIENDSMITH. So now what? How are we getting Snake Eyes out of this? Well, easy. Thanks to the card that should be banned, Beatrice, we can dump Snake Eye Ash directly from our deck. And as you guys can see here where this is going, we have a link 2 plus Beatrice. Go off into Princess effect, bring back Snake Eye Ash. This is crazy. Like, we did this off of 1 FIENDSMITH, and we have not yet used our normal summon. So now we can search for the Divine Tempo, scale the Snake Eyes Diabellstar effect of Snake Eyes Ash, summon out the Oak effect, and then bring back the Ash. Now we can use the Ash effect to bring out Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon. Or actually, I guess it would be the Oak effect. So yeah, you just switch around the 2 bodies. I misplayed here, but same result. Now we're going to use these 2 bodies to make out an IP Masquerena. We're going to use Poplar to bring back the Diabellstar, put Oak in the follow-up zone, and then link off into Celine, because Snake Eyes Diabellstar is a spellcaster, bring that back. Going to use Snake Eyes Flamberge, place IP, make APOLLOUSA, bring back 2 bodies, and the combinations are endless, guys. I'm sure there are like better boards than this. We have not yet used our normal summon. And now we're gonna link off and just do some link climbing shenanigans. Like, you know, you can go SP, you can bring back the Princess next turn, pop the Poplar, bring back the Flamberge Dragon. Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff. You guys can optimize this, but you can see the FIENDSMITH can go into the Snake Eyes stuff. It bridges vice versa. Crazy. So by now, you're probably realizing that this is a very, very broken engine / mechanic that I think is honestly one of the most busted engines in the game in some time. The fact that you can, again, just get 2 monsters to bridge in a full FIENDSMITH combo, or better yet, 3 monsters to bridge into the Snake Eye combo thanks to the FIENDSMITH stuff. It's just like very, very generically good. And there's honestly a lot of synergy. I feel like every deck can literally splash this because, yeah, again, 2 monsters is just full combo. And, you know, FIENDSMITH on his own is a great starter and it's a great extender for any kind of occasion because of the power level of the Link monsters that we can make as well as the Xyz monsters that are possible. And, you know, they went even further beyond. It's like they were thinking, you know what? You guys don't have enough extenders. So in Infinite Forbidden, we're actually going to give you another free extender that lets you get 3 bodies on board without using your normal summon. Yes, the Exodia support, Millennium monsters. These are retrains of some older cards. You guys might remember Millennium Shield, Sengenjin, Millennium Golem. That was a McDonald's promo. I actually got that one as a kid when I got a Happy Meal. These guys are actually very powerful. These guys are actually powerful. They made anime cards actually really, really good this time. Starting off with the Caveman that awoke after a millennium. This is actually a retrain of Sengenjin, a old prize card from way back in the day. He was a vanilla. He's a collector of Millennium items in his actual lore, which is really, really cool to see that there's Millennium items in the actual game besides the anime. And this guy has an effect where he cannot be destroyed by monster effects and has a hard once per turn where if this card is in your hand, you can place it in your face-up Sprout Trap Zone as a continuous spell. Snake Eyes, anybody? And if this card is a continuous spell, you can pay 2,000 life points or reveal a Millennium Cross in your hand, special summon this card, then you can add 1 Millennium monster or 1 Sengenjin from your deck to your hand. Now, I suppose we should quickly talk about Millennium Cross. This is a card that all of the monsters require in order to bypass the 2k life point cost for special summoning themselves from the Spell Trap Zone. But this is a card that lets you fusion summon for the new Exodia. It's not very good. It's a brick. You don't have to play it at all. So yes, we're paying 2k life points for all of these guys, but the next monster is Millennium Golem's retrain. And that's Golem that guards the Millennium treasures. That allows you to place itself as a continuous spell from your hand, just like the other guys. And if it's a continuous spell, you can pay 2,000 life points, special summon it, then you can add a Shrine of Yugioh from your deck to your hand. So yeah, Caveman goes into the Millennium Golem, who goes into the Shrine of Yugioh, which says this. It's a field spell that says during your main phase, you can place 1 monster from your hand face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. Then place 1 Millennium monster or a Sengenjin from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. So what this means is we can go Caveman into Millennium Golem into Shrine of Yugioh, and as long as we have another monster in our hand to actually place as a cost, we can then go into the next monster, who's another extender. Shield of the Millennium Dynasty. This is a retrain of Millennium Shield, which was also a McDonald's promo. Really cool to see that being called back to. This card cannot be destroyed by Spiral Trap effects. It's a hard once per turn. You can place it as a Spiral Trap from your hand, and by paying 2,000 life points, you special summon itself out. It allows you to add Millennium Cross, but there's no point playing that card because it just doesn't do anything besides, you know, save your life points. So what that means is off of 1 Caveman plus another monster in your hand, you can effectively get 3 monsters onto the board without using your normal summon, or at the very worst, 2 monsters on the board with Caveman plus Millennium Golem at the cost of 4,000 life points. So yes, what that means is these guys are just free extenders for paying life points, and you guys know life points don't matter in this game, so all you have to do is reveal, place them in the zone, pay 2k, special summon them out, get a Golem, Millennium Golem, and then place that in the zone, pay 2k, special summon them out. Now, obviously, you can either normal summon a monster, or if you want to go the Shrine of Yugioh route, you forego your normal summon. You do require a monster in your hand to place, which I forgot about here, but yeah, you need a monster to place, guys. And then you can bring out the Millennium Shield. Shield can pay 2k, so you're down to 2k life points. But I mean, if this all resolves, you are off your way to a brilliant end board, I would say. So now you can just go off into the Moon of the Closed Sky into Requiem. Requiem contribute off to summon Fiendsmith, and then from there you link off the remaining monster plus Fiendsmith to go off into the Sequentia like we did before. Shuffle back your resources, summon out Lacrimosa, bring out Fiendsmith, and then you can go off into Beatrice, and this is just full Snake Eye combo. We're going to send Snake Eye Ash. We have not yet used our normal summon. Again, all you require is really a monster to place off of Shrine of Yugioh alongside Caveman, or otherwise you could just use Caveman to just get the Fiendsmith engine without going to the Snake Eye stuff, so it's always an option, and you're just linking off. I didn't do an optimal combo here. I was just like experimenting. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. Again, you have not yet used a Fiendsmith in your graveyard either, so you can bring that back as an extender. Snake Eyes, Bellstar, Celine, you get everything in this combo. So in your end board, you know, you can do a lot of crazy things. I don't know what the heck I was going for here, but you guys can do way better than this off of basically just a Millennium guy. It's just nuts how crazy these extenders are. And I'm surprised to see Exodia support being really good. Obviously not with the actual Exodia cards, but rather for Snake Eyes. So this is just scratching the surface of how broken this engine is. Like, they've completely forgot about the previous mistakes with Link monsters being able to bridge into other things like Nightmare Mermaid and Verte Anaconda, you know, off generic monsters. This is a thing, again, 2 monsters go into Fiendsmith engine, 3 monsters goes into the Snake Eyes stuff. So I guess now I have to show you guys the actual clickbait end board that we did at the beginning of the video. Here's how you do it. I have to give a huge shout out to Frontier Card Gaming, which is an OCG channel. I believe they're based in Taiwan. Really cool OCG channel. They showed us basically every combo that I'm going to demonstrate to you guys, and they have so many cool videos that you can check out. Even if you don't understand Mandarin, you can still kind of get a grasp about the combos, and I think it's a really valuable channel, so check them out. So yes, with one Snake Eye Ash, what we're going to do is normal summon Ash, add Poplar, same kind of thing, place the tempo for the Diabell Star, send into Oak. Oak effect will bring back the Ash. We can now use these two to go off into our beloved Moon of the Closed Sky, which goes into Requiem. Requiem sends itself, summons out Fiendsmith. Then we can use the effect of Poplar, bring back the Diabell Star. Actually, that should have been earlier, but I always forget. Requiem can equip itself to Fiendsmith like we did before. We can use Oak to send Requiem, bring out the Flamberge Dragon, and then from here we can link off to go into Sequentia. I don't know why Sequentia is generic, but don't ask me, guys. Then we can bring back our Weenies, Sequentia to Fusion Summon, bring out the Lacrimosa. Lacrimosa can bring back the Fiendsmith to our hand, use the effect to ditch to go into Tractus into Fabled Luri, and that's just a free extender if you think about it. Now we're going to go off into Snake Eyes Diabell Star, and then bring back the Poplar, link these two off into Celine. Celine can bring back Snake Eyes Diabell Star. We can now use these two to make the APOLLOUSA, so we're shielded, and now we can link off and go into IP Masquerena. Just do some more cool stuff. Bring back this Fiendsmith. Use the Fiendsmith to shuffle it back a Light Fiend. Bring out Beatrice. Beatrice effect. Here's where things get spicy. This card has a not relevant effect in the hand, but if it's in the graveyard, you can banish it as a cost to set one normal trap directly from your hand or deck when direct effect damage is inflicted to either player. Now, if you guys remember, we talked about earlier, one of the fusion monsters actually has a burn effect in the graveyard that is very relevant to make this combo possible. So now we can link off the Oak and the IP Masquerena into Princess. Princess effect, bring back the guy who places the Masquerena, and then we can link these two off into Pit Knight early. Yep, place that guy over here. Now we can activate the effect of Lacrimosa to burn for 1200. So this is crazy. When it's sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle back another Light Fiend monster, burn for 200. That turns on our trigger effect for Angel Blue Tears, which allows us to set a copy of Dimensional Barrier. Again, shout out to the Frontier Card Gaming guys who actually discovered this combo. It's absolutely nuts. But I've also seen some other players make usage of Nightmare Griffin to set something that you foolish off of Beatrice. So whether that be like an anti-spell fragrance or any other spell trap in the game, that's also a possibility. So yeah, branded players are probably going to be rolling in their sleep from this. So guys, what do you think about the Fiendsmith so far? I mean, these guys, honestly, I feel like the metagame is going to change completely for WCQ. I know, again, it's a little early for this type of stuff, but I wanted to demonstrate it to you guys so you guys are aware of the cards you have to pick up and what you should have in mind for the next format. Other than that, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you guys have any other cool combos with the Fiendsmith stuff, smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot for tuning in.